Hello and welcome to today's tutorial. Today we are going to talk about HTML, which stands for Hypertext Markup Language. So this is going to be a short crash course on HTML. And I'm going to use CodeSandbox.io as an environment to write my code, my HTML code here online. It's very simple. You can either have an account or just create Sandbox. That's simple. And then it offers you some options. So let's create Sandbox, and here you can have some React app, vanilla, JavaScript, or whatever. But we are going to go with static because we are going to have a static web page, and static means that the information is not going to be updated regularly by the user or by different accounts. It's just going to be whatever we have in our in our file. Sorry. Okay, so this is basically an HTML boilerplate or starting template for HTML, but we are going to use start from scratch. So I'm going to delete this, and if I Control S, that is to save it, you see everything goes blank. And I can have my actually page here by pressing this one, and it gives me a URL that I can use to share it with others as well. So this is basically where we are going to write our HTML code. So the file is called index.html, so this should be the extension. And now let's see what HTML is. So HTML, as I said, is a hypertext markup language. It is a markup language in which it just tells us about the structure of the web page, how it should be, what should be there on this web page. If there should be a heading like a title, if there should be images or links or buttons or forms or lines. So all of these things are specified by HTML. Now let's take a look at a very simple example. So here I have the Wikipedia page entry for Elon Musk, and to see the HTML makeup of this web page, I need to right click and go to View Page Source. Click on this one, and it gives me all the HTML structure of this Wikipedia page. It's very long, and we're not going to look at everything there, but just a quick look. So as you can see, up here on the very top we have doctype HTML, which stands for a declaration of a document type. That is, the type of this document is going to be HTML. And after that we are going to have an HTML tag which closes here. We call this like an opening tag. Why an opening tag? Because if you look at the end, the very bottom of this document, we have a closing HTML tag here. It's the same HTML, only with a / to show this is the closing tag. Now let's go up there again. After this we have a head tag. This is the opening head. And down here you see this is the closing head, the same head only with a / so whatever goes in between belongs to head section, and this section head contains information about the web page. You don't see this information displayed here, they're not here, but these are information about the page. For example, the most important one is this one, title, opening tag, the element, and it closes off here, title. Again, the same, only with / closes it. And in between we have Elon Musk Wikipedia. Now look at this, the tab here, Elon Musk Wikipedia. So this is basically it's coming from here. So title tag inside head tag shows what information is going to be displayed here, and the rest are some pieces of information we are not going to be talking about. Then after head we have a body tag, you see, body. So whatever is in between the body, opening, and closing, which is at the end here, whatever is between this is going to be displayed. That is, everything that you see is actually between those tags. Now what are some of these tags, some examples of these tags? For example, we have p tags. You see open here, closing here. A p tag is for paragraph. Then we have a table tag, just for a table. We have ul for unordered list, and then li for list items, for example. We have an HR, which is just like a horizontal line, like this line that you see here. And what else? Let's see. Yeah, I think that can be enough for now. Or this one, H3 tag, which is for heading number 3. I'm going to talk about all these. Okay, now that you have kind of a general understanding, let's go back to our environment here and let's start typing. So the first thing that we saw, what was it? It was this document type HTML. This is what we need to have at the top. So as soon as I type this one, you can see I have some suggestions here. These are suggestions given to me by Emmett, and if I press tab, because this is the first one, if I press tab, it generates this for me. So this is the declaration of the HTML document. Let's go to next line. Now here we need to have the HTML, where was it? The HTML tag. So if I write HTML, you see I again have the Emmett suggestion. If I press tab, I get the opening and the closing tag. So everything else should go in between these two. We had two more major tags. One was head opens here and closes here, and one was body. So let's do that as well. I write head, press tab, I get this. And in between the tab, let's have our title. I just write title. You see, it's suggested for auto completion. I press tab. Now I can write a title for my page so that it is displayed on here. Let's say first page. Now if I save it, you can't see anything here. But if we go back to the page that we opened by clicking here, this one, if I refresh this, look at this part here now. If I refresh this, you see, first page. So this is what goes in the title part, inside the head. That's enough for the head. Now let's go to the body. Now for body, you saw that I typed in body and I pressed tab, it generated this for me. Now inside the body is whatever going to be displayed here. Let's start by something called H1 here. Press tab again. H1 is about heading. So this is going to be like the most important heading in your web page. If I save this now, Control S, I see it here. So this is basically very important for Google or search engines. So every page needs to have a heading 1. You can call it whatever you want. And this is going to be what Google looks for. Now you can have other headings like H2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the order of importance and also size. So if I choose, for example, H6, which is the smallest, and I write a heading 6, you can see this is very small. Okay, let's get rid of these now. So instead of heading 1, let's just call it Elon Musk now. Save this here. Now we also need like a paragraph, something to talk about Elon Musk, something to write about him. And the paragraph tag is P, so a P tag. You normally either use P and then press tab like so, or if you don't have access to Emmett, you have to write it manually like this, and then this is the opening and this is the closing tag. So inside these I can write whatever I want, like for example, Elon Musk is a successful person. Elon Musk is a successful person. Elon Musk. Now if I Control S, save it, you see this is going to be my paragraph. Now what if I want to have a list of Elon Musk's roles? For example, I mean something like this, like titles. Like a founder of SpaceX, CEO of Tesla, founder of this. How can I have a list in HTML? Well, to have a list, we have two options. The first option is using UL and press tab. Let's press enter. So UL stands for unordered list. A list which doesn't have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, inside this, we need to have list items. LI, press tab, this. And the first option is, let's say, CEO of SpaceX, and let's have another list item, LI tab. Let's say CEO of Tesla, and yeah, the last one, LI tab, CEO of Boring, like the Boring Company. So just a Boring. Now Control S, let's save it, and look at this. We have a list now with this kind of styling. You see these dots, because it's an unordered list. If I change UL to OL, which stands for ordered list, and save it, you see 1, 2, 3. Now it's ordered. Let's just go back to unordered list for now. Now maybe I want to have whatever Wikipedia has. You see, these are links, right? So you can go over them and you can click on them and it will take you to some other pages. How can I do this? For doing that, let's just go to, for example, I don't know, SpaceX. This is the page, right? Let's copy this. Now for making like these links, HTML calls them anchor tags or A tags. You need to write A. You see, it is offered here, so I press tab. And here, let's just say a space X, right? Like that. And if I save this, you see this happens. It's in blue, it's underscore. Now, but if I click on it, it doesn't go anywhere. Why would it? So and where would it go anyways? So we should tell it where to go. And that is why we are using an href for reference. So I'm going to paste the page to Wikipedia page of SpaceX here. Let's save this. Now if I go back to this page and if I refresh, you see this information, right? If I click on this, it takes me to this page. Cool. But I want this one to work as a link. So for that, what I need to do, this one, right? I need to wrap it inside an A tag. So let me just cut this and put that is SpaceX inside an A tag. So I have to close it. Don't forget to close your tags. So this is the opening tag and this is the closing tag, and the SpaceX is in between them. It means this is clickable now. And let me get rid of this. Let's save this and look at this. You see, now I can click on this and it will go to the website. I can do the same for Tesla. So I can, let's get rid of Tesla for now. I can use an A tag like this, A, href equals, and then give it the page. What was the page for Tesla? Where is the page for Tesla? Title. Okay, this is SpaceX actually. Okay, here, title, Tesla, here, right? This is the page for Tesla. Let's copy this address. Let's paste it here. And we have to close A and the closing for A as well. Now we have to put Tesla in between these two tags and save it. And you see, now we have this tag. We can do the same for Boring. All right, now we have a list. Now how about a button? Just under our UL, let's create a button so that when people click on it, it should, I don't know, contact us, something like that. Now for buttons, it's simple. We just write button, well, 2 T's, button, and you can see here autocomplete, right? So I press tab, button opens, button closes, and in between I have to write my text like click on button, and I save it. And look at this, now I have a button here, and here if I refresh, you see I have a button here. Cool, awesome. Now let's also have like a horizontal line here so that it separates from the rest. For the line we use an HR tag, just like that. I save it. So an HR tag is a self-closing tag. It means it doesn't have an opening and closing. It just closes itself. That's it. It doesn't have two parts like these. And you can see, if I refresh, you can see this line here. Nice. Now, what do we miss? We miss actually a picture, an image of Elon Musk. I want to have an image of Elon Musk here. Let's go and find an image of him. Maybe this image. So I need to right click on it and copy image link. Okay, now I have the link. Okay, now how can I insert an image here? For that, in HTML you use img, and look at this, img, and it suggests me, right? So I need to press tab, and img is also a self-closing tag, just like hr. It doesn't have a closing tag like this. It doesn't have it, because everything we need is right here. And these are called attributes. What do they mean? So first of all, alt. Alt is basically a text that is shown if for some reason the image cannot be displayed, or someone cannot see the image, or we need a screen reader to read and it gets to the image. So you can read Elon Musk is a successful person, but when there's an image it has to skip it. But if it has an alt, then it will also read the alt so that the person knows what this is. So let's give it just a name of Elon Musk for now. Now if I save it, you see that Elon Musk appears here, but this is part of an image. Just in case there is no image, this appears. Now how do we give it the image? So you know the source src. If I paste the address of the image that we just copied, and if I save, look at this. Let's go to this view. Awesome. Elon Musk. This is the image, right? But maybe I want the image to be smaller. Like the width of the image, I want it to be, I don't know, 200 pixels, and maybe also 200 pixels wide and high. Yeah. So for that, I can give it some attributes. Again, I'm inside the image. Remember, after alt, I give it width equal, and then double quotes 2, and I give it a number like 200. It means I want it to be 200 pixels wide, maybe up to here. So if I save this, Control S, now you should see that this, you see, it just decreased. Now maybe also the height is, yeah, it's too high. Maybe I want it to be like this high. So I can also give it a height of, let's say 200, or yeah, 300 maybe, and save, and it should go now up again. Let's see that. So if I maybe it's actually 300, yeah, so let's just do it with 200. Okay, that was 300 already, I guess. So 200 now, it's much better, isn't it? So let's take a look. It is good, although it's kind of smushed, but yeah, it's fine. Now, so we have a button here, we have a list, we have some text here. Now maybe I want to also, I don't know, Elon Musk, I want it to be in bold or italic. How can I do that? So let's go to, where is Elon Musk? Here, inside our H1, right? I can use, here, inside our paragraph, right? P tag. So I want the Elon Musk part to be bold and also italic. To make it bold, I need to wrap it inside a strong tag, and I need to finish it here, strong. I need to close it here, Now you see, so Elon Musk is inside, opening and closing strong. If I save it, you see it's bold now. Now look at the difference. You see, it's bold. Now if I want it to be italic, I need to wrap this inside another tag, like MEM, which is actually for emphasis normally. And here again, closing M, save it, and you see now it's, oops, yeah, now it is italic. Here it must be more visible. Yeah, cool. Now that we've covered this one, maybe we can also have a table under our horizontal line let's have a table, and in that table I want to mention something about, I don't know, citizenship, maybe about number of children, and yeah, birthday. Okay, so let's have that table. So for table, we need to just write table. You see it's offered here, so I press tab. So we have a table. Our table can have columns and rows. So we can have TR, which stands for table row. So one row. Let's have another one, TR, again tab, 2 rows, and inside each row I want 2 columns, and those columns are called TD, for table data. So the first one should be, I don't know, birthday, for example, and let's have another column, TD, should be, I don't know, what was the other one? Yeah, like citizenship, for example, or company, just like that. It is, for example. So we have birthday and company for the first line. The second line, let's have again columns. So what was the first one? Birthday. So this is going to be the verb for the birthday, and this is 1971. So 28th. Yeah, well, June. Let's say June 1971. And let's have also another column, and that would be company, yeah, like Tesla, SpaceX, these two. Now let's save this, and let's take a look at this. Well, here maybe better. Yeah, you see it looks like a table, but it doesn't have any borders. So first let me actually, at the end of the document you can use breaks, that is lines, by using BR like this. So it provides more space. Let's provide more space because I want the bottom to be like more spacious like that. Okay, so this is our table. That is birthday, this, company, this. But we don't have the borders, so we can give it some borders as well. So inside the table here we can say border equal well, no, correct actually. Border equals, let's say, 1 pixel. So it should be like this. You see, now we have something. Or if you say, I don't know, 3, for example, or 8, it gets kind of thicker. Look at that. So this is the way you also make tables. And okay, now that we have also tables, let's get to forms. So right below the table, let's make another horizontal line to separate it. Now there is line. Now let's get to the contact section, a contact form. For that, let's create an H2, like a heading 2, and let's call it contact form. Let's save this. You can see it here, and oh, it's should be below the line actually, like here. Yeah, contact form. Now let's create a form. To create a form in HTML, we use form tag, that is form, just like that, or like this manually. So we have form opening tag, then closing tag, remember, with the /. And if I save it, nothing is going to happen, nothing is there. So inside our form we need input fields. That is the place that people can input, can write something into. So the input fields are, well, start with input. Here I can press tab now. It gives me input type text. You see, this is also self-closing. I normally do not need something like this, like input. I do not need that because I'm not entering anything here. So this is also self-closing. And the type of the first one is going to be text, maybe for the name of the sender of the message. Let's have another input, and this time the type maybe can be number. I don't know, maybe we want their age. Let's have another one. This time type can be email. So if you enter something besides email or number in these fields, when you send it, it will give you an error. So this is nice for validation. But we have some issues. Let's go and check what the issues are. So look at these three input fields here. I have no idea what, or the user has no idea what it should enter here or here. Maybe this one's more clear because it was number, you see? So when you put the type number, this happens. But what about these ones? What are these? We can show something inside these as guidelines. Let me show you what I mean. They are called placeholders. So if I say placeholder like this equals double quotes, enter your name, and let's have a placeholder for email as well. So placeholder, enter email, and maybe something for, yeah, number, enter, I don't know, age, for example. Where can we see these now? If I refresh, you see, I get these. So we have enter your name, enter age, enter email. Now at least the user knows what it's going to write inside these. Okay, now let's have more. Yeah, maybe I can also put them on top of each other instead of next to each other. So for that, I can use BR, that is a break line. So BR, I close it here. And let's have another BR so that there is more space there. And here as well, let's just copy these two here and let's save it. And now you can see, yeah, this is one BR, see? Okay, much better now. All right, now here as well, some space. Now, what else do I need in my form? So I need some options. I want them to choose an option, for example, between these companies. Which company are you going to send a message to? So for that, we can use a select element. We just need to write select and close it somewhere here, select. You see, this is the opening tag, this is the closing tag now. And inside these, we need to have option tags, which are called actually options. So just option, and let's close it here. Let's have 3 of them like this. And the way I did just that was by keeping Shift, Alt, and down arrow key, 1, 2, whatever you want. It copies whatever there is actually. Yeah, not too many, so 3 is enough. Now inside the options, let's give them options like Tesla. Here maybe SpaceX, and here boring company. Let's save this, and now let's take a look at the options now here. You see that? Now we have these fields. Cool. So let's just refresh this, and we also have options. We can also mention some text here that choose an option, and right above select, let's have a p tag for paragraph and say choose an option or choose a company, whatever, and choose an option. Then we have these options. Nice. Now we may also need some checkboxes, that is 3 or 4 options that you can choose from. You can choose 2 or 3 or 4, whatever options. They are also input fields. So just input, press tab, and instead of type text, you should write checkbox. And now I can give it like Tesla here, something like that. Let's have one more, and SpaceX. So I have 2 checkboxes now. Let's save them and let's take a look at them here. You see, Tesla, SpaceX, or here, bigger. So these are my checkboxes now. You can check either or both. Yeah, cool. What else? Let's go to have a break line now. And now let's have some radio buttons, and so that the user can choose only one of the options, like do you agree if we send you a message or not, something like that. That is a radio button, and again that is an input field. Type is radio, and let's give it a text yes, for example. Let's have another one that says no, and let's have some text right above it, a p tag, a paragraph, which says Do you want to receive emails from us, for example? And then they should say yes or no. Let's save this, go back, refresh, and you see we have two options, but I can choose both, and that is not nice. This is stupid. So I should be able to choose only one of the options. So for that, we need to give it a name inside our input. We have to have a name attribute, name, and give both of them the same name actually. Let's just call them, I don't know, A. And let's come here inside again, the input, and say name equals A. Both of them should have the same name. And now if I save and I go back, refresh, you see I can only choose one because both have the same name, and HTML has to choose only one. It cannot choose both. Okay, now imagine that someone has mentioned all of these, has filled in all of these forms like this, I don't know, g@g.com, and they have chosen something here, and they have checked these. So what now? They should be able to submit the form. So we need to have a submit part, and that submit, let's go to the next line by break, is also an input field, but the type is submit. This is the important part. Oops, let's get rid of these. So the type of the input is submit because it's going to submit the form. And what is going to be inside that button? What is the text inside it? It is inside the value, which says, I don't know, send message, something like that. If I save this, if I go back, refresh, you see, send message. This is the value, and this is a submit button. That is, if I press send, if I press submit, if I had a backend which would receive the messages and would store them somewhere, it would take me, some other pages and do some other stuff. So this is basically it, almost. Now I have one or two actually more points to add. One is that imagine I want to group these parts together so that I change the color of the fonts, for example, the text only in this part. I can go over each of them and change the color of each one by one, but that is time consuming. So I want to group all these under one division, one category, because these are already under form. So to have groupings, I can have divisions. Now, let me show you what I mean. So right above my head H1, like here, I can start a division, div, which stands for like a division, like a grouping, and I can close it wherever I want. So I want to have up to the button, maybe not including the button. So I'm going to close it here, like that. You see, now everything in between these two tags that is here is one division. Oops, here actually, yeah. So whatever I do to this div is going to affect everything inside it. And what do I mean? What am I going to do to it? So I can change the color of the text. This is not that common actually, to change the color or font inside HTML, because this is done in CSS. But let's say we want to do it here. So for that I need to give this div an attribute which is style equals double quotes, and let's say I want to change the color of the fonts. So I would say color colons, and then I should give it a color. Yeah, let's just say, I don't know, blue. Now if I save this, you see the color of the text has changed into blue, of all of it, of all the things under this division, which was up to here. Now if I want to change, see, if I want to change the background of all the body, I can go to the body here, say style equals double quotes and background dash color columns. Let's say, I don't know, like burly wood, that kind of color. If I save it, You see, that's changed. This has changed. Now it looks much better, right? So that was very simple. Okay, now you know how to make a form, how to make headings, paragraphs, italic, bold, links, buttons, tables, and all the stuff, and change the background and also change the color of text in 35 minutes. That was it. And if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And thank you very much indeed for watching and listening.